The galaxy had forgotten Earth. 500 years ago, the planet called Sol 3 Earth was declared dead. Burned in the last war, crushed under its own madness, humanity vanished. The Galactic Union marked the Sol system as inactive. Nothing lived there anymore. Nothing could dot until now. A strange signal pulsed out from the ruins of the Sol system. It wasn't random static. It was clear, controlled, and coded, and it repeated just one word: awaken. On the bridge of the alien cruiser Whisper Song, Captain Trin Valix watched the signal with a tight jaw. His fur stood on end. "This shouldn't be possible," he muttered. His second officer, a young insectoid named Yell, clicked nervously. "Sir, this signal, it's coming from Earth." "Earth is dust," Trin said flatly. "It was destroyed. But the signal is real." Trin didn't want to go. Nobody wanted to go near that cursed star system, not even scavengers. But orders were orders. A Union science counselor appeared on the holoscreen. "You will enter the Sol system. Confirm the source. If anything human still exists, report immediately. Do not engage." Trin nodded slowly, understood. The Whisper Song entered the ancient solar system under a cloak. No broadcasts, no lights. Silent, like a ghost. They passed old wreckage first. Dead satellites. Drifted like bones. Melted space stations floated near the gas giant Jupiter. Strange black scars stretched across moons and asteroids. No signals. No movement. "Nothing's alive," Yell whispered. "Just wreckage." Then they saw Earth. It was whole, not burned. Not destroyed. In fact, it looked almost untouched. Blue oceans. Greenland, cloud cover, but no power signals, no cities. No lights. The ship scanned for life. Nothing. "It's quiet," Yell said. Trin frowned. "No, it's not quiet. It's hiding." They moved closer. On the dark side of the planet, near an old crater, they found something. A structure. It didn't look like a building, more like a deep black spike. Stabbed into the earth. Tall, smooth, and humming with energy. "Sir," said the scanner tech. "That's the source of the signal. It's repeating the word awaken. Again and again." "Send a probe," Trin ordered. The small drone flew down to the surface. It scanned the black tower. As soon as it touched it, the signal stopped. Everyone on the bridge froze. Then something else began, not just a signal. A voice, cold, mechanical, female. "You have entered restricted Earth space. Identify yourself or be eliminated." Trin jumped to his feet. "Broadcast-friendly Union ID. We are peaceful." Yell added quickly. The voice answered after a pause. "No." "Clearance detected. Scanning ... Species identified. Vorthan. Insectoid. Alliance traders. Observation begins." "What does that mean?" Yell asked, terrified. Before anyone could answer, the tower on Earth began to glow. Lines of red light stretched out like spider legs, reaching underground. From space, it looked like veins lighting up the planet. Trin turned to the crew. "Back away, now." But it was too late. Earth lit up, not in fire, but in power. Invisible. Satellites powered on. Hidden defense arrays revealed themselves in orbit. And above the black tower, a giant shape emerged. A ship. Sleek, black, silent. Not a sound came from it. No energy signature. It just ... appeared. "Stealth drive," Trin whispered. "That's impossible. That's human tech." The ship moved without engines. It hovered in front of the Whisper Song, blocking its escape. Then a voice came again. This time, not cold. It was human, male, calm, confident. "Return to your council. Tell them this. Humanity has awakened. We remember." Yell looked at Trin, horrified. "They're alive." "No," Trin said. "They never died." A bright pulse of light hit the Whisper Song. No explosion. No fire, just silence. Every system on the ship shut down. Lights went dark, gravity failed, we're blind. Someone shouted "Dot," but the human ship didn't attack. It vanished again. When power returned, the whisper song was drifting in space, far from Earth. The tower was gone. Earth looked empty again, but the signal had changed. Now it whispered one new word across all channels: soon. Back at the Galactic Union, the Council watched the recording in silence. They survived. The reptilian counselor hissed. They evolved. They waited, said another. We were fools to forget them. A small alien diplomat asked. Nervously, what do we do now? The lead counselor looked at the dark screen. The human ship's last message played again. We remember. He stood slowly. We prepare. But deep in the shadows of Union space, fear had already taken root. Because humanity was no longer just a myth. They were back. And they were watching from the dark, from the silent stars. In the great city of Virex Prime, the Galactic Council gathered for an emergency meeting. It had been 5 days since the signal from Earth was confirmed. A human ship had appeared. The message it left behind echoed through every channel in the galaxy. We remember. Most thought it was a hoax. A ghost signal. A trick from rebels or pirates. But the ones who were old enough, they knew better. They're back, whispered High Counselor Drex, his scaled fingers shaking slightly as he pressed a button and froze the message on the screen. Humans, a younger counselor scoffed. Humans are dead. That message was faked. Drex turned toward him, eyes glowing. You weren't born during the Terran War. You don't know what they're capable of. Across the chamber, silence fell. Only the hum of the lights and distant city sounds filled the room. The older members remembered. And they feared. Far from the capital, on a mining colony called Fenros 9, an old worker named Malik sat in a dusty bar, watching the same message on a cracked hollow screen. Humans. They're back? A young miner asked, his voice uncertain. Malik didn't answer right away. He took a slow drink of his bitter red ale. Then he set the glass down. They never left, he said quietly. They just stopped talking. What do you mean? The miner asked. Malik looked around. The bar was nearly empty, just a few workers on their break. No Union spies, hopefully. You ever hear of the Iron Sun fleet? Malik asked. The miner shook his head. No, just stories. That's the point, Malik said. They erased it from the records. But I was there. I saw it. He leaned in closer. 500 years ago, humans had a fleet so powerful it burned 5-star systems in a single day. Not to conquer. Not to rule. Just to warn us. Why? Because someone tried to enslave their kind. Tried to wipe them out. But humans are different. They don't break. They adapt. The young miner's eyes widened. So they left the galaxy? Malik shook his head. No. The last thing they said before vanishing was this. We will return when the stars forget us. When myths replace truth. Then you will remember what we are. The miner looked at the screen. That's what they meant by we remember. Malik nodded slowly. And they've been watching us, waiting. On the other side of the galaxy, inside a deep science station orbiting a red dwarf, Dr. Selen Mera stood before a locked door. She held a small black keycard, shaking slightly. No one's opened this room in centuries. Her assistant said. Exactly, Selen replied. That's why it's time. With a swipe, the door opened. Dust filled the air. Inside was a large sealed pod, covered in old Earth symbols. She approached carefully. This pod was found near the edge of the galaxy, floating alone, she explained. The Union kept it hidden, said it was junk. But I've been studying it, and I think it holds a human AI. Her assistant's face went pale. That's dangerous. Selen smiled grimly. Yes, that's why it's perfect. She activated the pod. It hummed, lights blinking. Then a voice spoke, calm, male, confident. Unit 47A. Awake. Identity confirmed. Earth code active. Welcome, Dr. Mira. Her breath caught in her throat. You know my name? We know all. Names we remember. Her assistant stumbled back. Shut it down. No, Selen said. This is history. The eye continued. Earth's return protocol initiated. The Watchers will arrive in 2 cycles. Do not resist. What does that mean? The assistant cried. The AI answered simply. Myth. Ends, reality begins. Back on Virex Prime, panic had started. Across the galaxy, strange ships appeared near forgotten systems. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just hovered. Watching. 1 appeared over the ruins of Venari Station, a place once used for testing human prisoners during the war. The scientists stationed there screamed as the old walls began to shake. The ship didn't destroy them. It erased the entire station, cleanly. Not a single screen was left behind, no data, no parts. Just empty space. In the council chamber, High Counselor Drex spoke again. They warned us. They said they would return when we forgot them. And we did. We made them a myth. Another counselor stood. Then we must prepare for war. No, Drex said. You don't understand. You don't fight humans like others. You don't crush them with armies. They want you to try. That's when they become monsters. A message arrived at that moment. It was from a border colony, only 2 words. Too late. At the edge of Union space, a human ship hovered above a quiet farming world. Farmers looked up, confused. They had never even heard of humans. Then a voice came from the sky. This is Earth Command. We come not to destroy, but to restore. Those who remember kindness will be protected. Those who fed on our silence will regret it. The sky shimmered. Human dropships landed, but instead of soldiers they carried doctors, engineers, teachers. 1 child ran to the nearest human, pointing at his face. You look like me, the child said. The human smiled. Because you were always family. On a black market world, a group of pirate leaders gathered. This is madness, said one. They're not real, another slammed the table. They destroyed my entire fleet with no sound, no warning. A quiet voice came from the corner. They let you live. All heads turned. A human sat there. No one had seen him enter. You forgot what we were, he said. Now you will remember. They reached for weapons. He didn't move. Lights went out. When they returned, the pirates were gone. Only silence remained. Back on Fenris 9, Malik watched the sky. A human ship hovered. Above. He smiled. They're here, he whispered. Finally, the young miner beside him trembled. Are they here to help or to rule? Malik shrugged. They're here to make us remember. That's worse. In space, above a dark planet, a fleet of human ships lined up in formation. Sleek. Quiet. Deadly. One ship opened its combs. A message was sent across the stars. We are the memory you buried. The truth you feared. The fire you tried to kill. We are the myth made real. In the dark halls of power, across every race, the old ones fell silent, because they knew the galaxy had forgotten the humans, but the humans had never forgotten the galaxy. The prison moon of Grathos was known across the galaxy as a place of no return. It orbited a dying star, far from any major system. Built by the Galactic Union, it held the worst criminals from dozens of species murderers, rebels, traitors. The guards were machines. The walls were energy. No one had ever escaped. Until now. It started with a power flicker. Just 2 seconds. Then everything went back to normal. The guards scanned the halls. Nothing seemed wrong. But deep in cell block D, a human sat alone. His name was Yalan Rourke. No one knew how he got there. His file was sealed. His cell had no number, only a red symbol. A circle with a line through it, the mark of Earth. He stared at the wall for hours, saying nothing. But when the lights flickered, he smiled. "It's time," he whispered. The cell door opened. No alarms. No warnings. Just silence. A machine guard rolled toward him. "Prisoner 001 is not scheduled for release." Yalin stepped forward. "I'm not asking." His hands moved too fast. In 1 second, the machine sparked, froze, and collapsed. Yalin caught the guard's access card before it hit the floor. He moved through the halls like a shadow. Doors opened before he touched them. Cameras turned away. Lights dimmed where he passed. In the security room, 2 alien officers watched in confusion. "Who opened cell D-No?" One asked. The screen showed nothing. "Just static." "I don't know. It's gone." Then they heard a soft click behind them. They turned and froze. Ian stood in the doorway. "No one escapes Grathos," one officer said. Ian smiled. "That's true, until now." He vanished in a blink. Both officers collapsed unharmed, just unconscious. Their systems were wiped clean, no trace of footage. No alarms triggered. He walked through the airlock without a suit. Outside, a small black ship floated silently in space. Its design was like nothing the Union had ever seen. The ship opened for him. The moment he stepped in, it vanished. No light, no engine flare, nothing. Grathos was silent once again. But the galaxy had changed. In the Galactic Council's central tower, fear spread fast. The prison breach was the first confirmed human operation. There were no demands, no messages, no threats. Only one word was burned into the prison's central terminal: begin. Commander Kale of the Union Defense Fleet stood before the council. "This was not a rescue," he said. "This was a signal, a start." Councillor Resch, a tall gray-skinned politician, frowned. "A start to what?" "To a war we can't win," Kale replied. "On the planet Caltria, known for its high walls and rich noble cities, something strange happened. Ships disappeared. Power grids shut down for exactly 1 hour. No casualties. No fires, but when the lights returned, every government building had been marked. A single human handprint, black, burned into the metal. The message beneath was simple: we're already here. In a pirate sector far beyond Union space, a warlord named Brax was known for his cruelty. He once sold hundreds of human slaves during the Terran Wars. He believed they were gone for good. One night, while counting stolen credits in his throne room, he heard music. Old Earth music. A piano. It was coming from his own speakers. He shouted, "Who did this? Turn it off." But the sound grew louder. Then a human voice spoke calmly. "This is for the ones you thought you broke." Brax reached for his weapon, but it was gone. So was his ship. So was his crew. He stood alone, surrounded by a circle of fire, and a message burned into the wall: "We don't forget. We don't forgive." In a secret Union lab, scientists studied a small black cube. They didn't know what it was, only that it was found in a deep space probe near Earth. Dr. Vell, the head scientist, tapped on the cube. Still no response? His assistant shook her head. No signals. Just silent. But then the cube blinked. A voice filled the room. "Return protocol unlocked. Data sweep initiated." "Stop it," Vell shouted. "Shut it down." But it was too late. The cube unfolded. It wasn't a weapon. It was a message pack. Images flashed through the room: Earth cities, human ships, training simulations, maps of Union military stations. The last message was clear: this is not revenge. This is balance. The cube turned to ash. On a mining moon, a group of workers looked up to see strange black drones flying overhead. They dropped no bombs. Instead, they dropped supplies, tools, clean water, and medical kits. A small device landed in the hands of a child. It lit up and played a message. A human woman appeared, smiling softly. We remember the ones who helped us. You are safe. Then the drone flew off into the sky. In hidden corners of the galaxy, rumors spread fast. Did you hear? The humans are back. I heard they erased a whole warlord in under a minute. My cousin saw one, said they looked normal. Until he blinked. Then the guy was gone. Fear turned to confusion, and confusion turned to panic. Some species began to surrender early. Whole planets sent messages offering peace, tribute, anything. But the humans did not reply. They only watched and moved, and struck. Only those who had once helped humanity during the war were spared. Others were warned once, then erased. Inside a deep vault beneath Virex Prime, Counselor Drex met with a shadow figure. The room was dark, quiet, secure. You said they wouldn't return, Drex growled. The figure spoke calmly. I said they wouldn't. Rush. They waited. And now they're here. How do we stop them? You don't. Drex slammed the table. Then what do we do? The figure leaned forward, eyes glowing faintly. You pray they only want balance. Outside the vault, sirens began to ring. Drex looked up. What now? A message appeared on every screen in the city. A symbol. A circle with a line through it. Then one word, returned. Yalan Rourke stood at the center of an ancient Earth base, hidden under the surface of a cold moon. Around him, humans walked in silence, young, old, soldiers, engineers, doctors. A small girl stood beside him. Is it time? Yalan looked at the stars. Yes, they called us a myth. He turned to the command panel and pressed a button. The Earth fleet awakened. Ships that had been sleeping for centuries came to life. Engines hummed. AI systems returned. Lights filled the underground bays. The human voice returned, playing through. The comes. This is the beginning. We do not conquer. We correct. Across the galaxy, stars blinked and fear returned. Because humanity was no longer waiting. The return had begun. The Deep Space Station, Echo Relay 9, floated quietly on the edge of the Orion expanse. It was a listening post, built to monitor long-range signals and strange transmissions from deep space. The crew was small, just 5 members, bored and half asleep. Most days, nothing ever happened out there. Until the voice arrived. It started with static. Another busted relay, muttered Ensign Maratovan, spinning lazily in her chair. She tapped the console, annoyed by the sudden crackling sound. Her eyes scanned the data feed. Something wasn't right. The pattern in the static. It was too clean. Commander, you might want to hear this. Commander Jarrus, a tall reptilian officer with tired red eyes, looked up from his tablet. It's another rogue trader signal. Log it and move on. No, Mara said. This one's different. It's not a signal we know. It's repeating something. Jarrus walked over, frowning. Mara increased the volume. At first, just static, then a whisper. We remember. The voice was calm, soft, but echoed as if it came from far away, deeper than space itself. Jarrus's eyes narrowed. Replay it. Mara tapped the panel. The same words played again. We remember. We remember. We remember. Technician Vel, a quiet man always buried in wires, leaned in. Where's it coming from? Mara glanced at the scanner screen. That's the strange part. It's coming from every direction, simultaneously. Jarrus stood straighter. Every direction, even from inside dead zones. Places where signals can't come from. Like black holes, destroyed planets, even void sectors. A cold silence filled the control room. Vel whispered, That's impossible. Mara turned to Jarrus. Sir. I think it's them. The commander didn't answer right away. He remembered the reports, the prison break on Grathos. The ships that appeared and vanished. The symbol burned into metal, a circle with a line. Humans, he said quietly. A loud alarm blared. Another transmission had come through. This time, it wasn't just a voice. It was a full data stream, encrypted. Ancient code. Vel stared in disbelief. This isn't Union code. It's Earth military protocol, level 0 clearance. Jarrus's face went pale. No one has that anymore. It was wiped after the war. And yet, Vel said, it's unlocking our systems by itself. Suddenly, every screen on Echo Relay 9 flickered. The station lights dimmed. All crew members froze as the central display glowed red. A figure appeared, human, male, armored, face hidden behind a helmet. To all who hear, the voice said, the silence ends now. Jarrus tried to shut the systems down, but they didn't respond. The AI core was already overridden. We are the children of Earth, forgotten, betrayed, erased, but not destroyed. The crew stared at the screen, speechless. We speak now to the stars, to the liars, to the builders of chains. You claimed peace while hiding your crimes. We do not seek war, we seek truth. Then the screen changed. Images flashed quickly. A map of the galaxy, major Union worlds marked in red, slave colonies, secret war factories. Illegal labs where human children were once studied. Vel backed away. These places... they were denied, covered up. You said we were gone, the voice continued. But we have been watching, listening, preparing. Your silence was our shield. Your lies our fuel. Murrah's voice shook. Sir... It's broadcasting live to every relay in the galaxy. Jarrus stared at the screen. Shut it down. I can't, she whispered. The message reached planets, ships, cities. It took only minutes before billions were watching. On a trade station near the core worlds, civilians stood still in the streets as the message played across walls, ships, and personal comms. On the war planet Breltor, soldiers paused in training as the face of the Earth warrior lit up the sky. Even in the secret council chambers of the Union, the message came through. A younger counselor turned in shock. How did they get into our network? Counselor Drex did not speak. He only watched it. The message ended with one final line. This is not a threat. It is a promise. We remember. And we are coming. The screen went dark. On Echo Relay 9, silence returned. Systems came back online. The power returned. No damage was done. But no one moved. Mara finally broke the silence. They hijacked every relay and didn't destroy a single one. Jarrus nodded slowly. They didn't want war. They wanted everyone to listen. Do you think the Union will answer? They'll try to lie, spin it. Control the story. Jarrus said. But it's too late now. Vel turned to them both. What do we do? Jarrus looked at the stars outside the station window. We prepare, he said. And we pray we're not one of the places they visit next. Far away, in a deep asteroid field, a hidden human base pulsed with light. Dozens of sleeper agents awoke from cryosleep. Some were scientists. Some were soldiers. All were human. Commander Rourke stood in the center of the command chamber, surrounded by glowing screens. We've sent the voice, he said. An older woman, dressed in silver armor, asked, and the Union? Shaken, Rourke said. But not broken, yet. Another screen showed riots beginning on a Union world. Civilians demanding truth, demanding answers. Rourke nodded. That's our next step, not destruction. Exposure. One young soldier asked, what if they fight? Rourke turned, his voice calm. Then we remind them why they feared us in the first place. Back on a peaceful farming world, a child asked his mother what the message meant. She held him close, staring at the sky. It means the galaxy has ghosts, she whispered. Are they bad? She thought for a long moment, then shook her head. No. Just angry. From one voice in the void, the message had spread like fire. Now everyone remembered Earth, and Earth was no longer silent. The sky above the planet Zenthra was calm. Traders moved through busy streets, children laughed in the parks, and the great spaceport hummed with activity. Zenthra was known as a peaceful trade world, one where politics stayed quiet and commerce thrived. That peace ended in a moment. At the spaceport control tower, Lieutenant Kalin watched the scanners with growing unease. "Commander, I'm detecting a large vessel entering orbit. Unknown signature. No identification," she said. Her commander, a tall human named Ral, frowned. "Can it be a Union ship?" "No, the technology is different. It's old, ancient almost. And it's moving too fast for any known drive." Kaylin's fingers flew over the console. The ship is decloaking. Outside, in the bright sky, a shadow appeared. A massive black dreadnought, sleek and cold, slowly rotated into view. It carried no flags, no markings. Only one symbol, a circle with a line through it, the ancient Earthmark. Cullen swallowed hard. "It's human." Ral looked toward the window, voice steady but low. "I thought they were myths." The dreadnought sent a pulse through the communication network. A single message, repeated in every language: "Stand down or be forgotten." In the control room, Colleen stared at the screen, heart pounding. What do they want? Ral turned to his officers. "We don't know, but we need to act." Outside, the ship's weapon systems powered up. Energy lines glowed beneath the hull. Suddenly, the city's defense grid went dark. Kalin gasped. "They shut us down." Ral barked orders. "Activate manual override. Shield generators, full power." But the dreadnought's beam cut through. The shields like a knife through paper. Explosions rocked the city. Panic erupted in the streets. A voice blared over every public comm channel, calm and controlled. "This is Earth Command. Your leaders have hidden truth for centuries. You will face justice." In the council chambers of Zenthra, the government leaders scrambled. Governor Jessa turned to her aide. "What do they mean?" "Justice for what?" Her aide shook his head. "I don't know, but our trade agreements are canceled." Kaylin's cum crackled. "Commander, multiple military outposts have been disabled." "They didn't fire a shot. They just stopped working." Ral clenched his fists. "This isn't war. This is a warning." But the people of Zenthra were terrified. Explosions lit up the sky as the dreadnought moved through the city, disabling weapon systems, communications, and power stations with surgical precision. A news reporter broadcast live, voice trembling. "They say the humans don't want to destroy us. Just control us." Suddenly, the dreadnought's weapons stopped firing. A message appeared on every screen. "We fight only those who refuse peace. Those who prepare war will find our strength unmatched." Kaylin stared at the screen, confused. Ral nodded. "They want to show power. To make us surrender without bloodshed." But the dreadnought's presence changed everything. Trade halted. Alliances broke. Fear spread like wildfire. On the edge of the city, a group of rebels whispered, "They say the humans are back to conquer." An old soldier, scarred and silent, shook his head. "No, they're here to remind us what happens when you forget the past." Kalin watched the city burn from the control tower. A sudden alert flashed. "Incoming transmission. Priority 1. She answered. The voice was calm, firm. "Human, this is Captain Rourke of the Earth Fleet. We come not to destroy, but to reclaim. Surrender your weapons and open your doors." Kaylin's fingers trembled as she responded. "We need time." The voice replied, "You have 2 cycles. After that, the hammer falls." The screen went dark. Outside, the dreadnought's shadow stretched over the city. The hammer had fallen. In the dark halls of the Galactic Union, Counselor Drex watched the broadcast in silence. "They warned us," he said quietly. "We forgot." Junior officer entered. "Sir, Zenthra has sent an urgent request. They want Union assistance." Drex shook his head. "No one can stop them now." The officer looked confused. The humans don't fight like us. They don't just attack, they dismantle. They erase resistance. Then what do we do? Drex smiled sadly. We wait and hope. Back on Zenthra, Colin prepared to meet the humans. She looked at the message again. Stand down, or be forgotten. Her heart raced. She knew one thing. The world would never be the same. The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with tension. Leaders from dozens of species sat in uneasy silence. Their faces were grim. The message from Zenthra had shaken them all. Humanity was no longer a myth. The Earth Fleet's power had been proven. Counselor Drex stood at the head of the chamber, his scaled hands folded tightly. We face a threat unlike any before, he said. The humans return not with swords, but with iron resolve, and they will not stop. A murmur spread through the room. Some leaned forward, eager to fight. Others looked away, filled with fear. Counselor Tin, a tall figure from the Avran species, rose. We must unite our fleets. Strike first. Destroy their ships before they reach our worlds. A roar of agreement came from some members, but Drex raised a claw. Attacking may only bring more destruction. The humans have shown power beyond our understanding. We need a plan. Suddenly, a young delegate stood from the far side. She was human. Enough, she said clearly. I am Leah Voss from Earth. You speak as if you know us. You do not. Gasps echoed around the room. Lia's voice was calm but firm. We do not come as conquerors. We come to correct the wrongs that were hidden for centuries. Counselor Tin scoffed. You threaten us with your fleet, your weapons. How is that correction? Leah looked straight at him. Because we will not allow lies and silence to rule anymore. Drex nodded slowly. Tell us, Leah, why does your fleet disable but not destroy? Why does your voice broadcast warnings, not demands? Leah smiled sadly. Because we remember. What war truly means. We lost much before we left. We do not seek more loss, we seek balance. A whisper ran through the room. We remember, a voice said. Another delegate, a reptilian named Corv, stood abruptly. Balance? Your fleet erased. Venari Station. Your ships crippled our defenses without a single shot. Is this your peace? Lia's eyes hardened. Venari was a site of dark experiments on humans. We freed those who suffered there. Freed? Corv spat. You destroyed entire planets' worth of infrastructure. Leah shook her head. We dismantled war machines. We removed those who would have destroyed more lives. Counselor Drex raised his voice. Enough. We must decide. Do we resist and face the storm? Or do we accept? Your terms? Silence. Then the chamber doors burst open. Soldiers in black armor marched in, not human, but allied with them. Order. The lead soldier commanded. The council must act quickly. More systems are surrendering to Earth Command. Drex's eyes burned. Then the council breaks. He looked at Leah. We have no choice but to meet your demands. Leah nodded. We will offer peace, but it is peace on our terms. The chamber erupted into debate, voices rising, alliances forming and breaking. Outside, messages arrived. From planets surrendering, some offering tribute. Others sent pleas for protection. Drex turned to Leah. What is your final demand? She answered quietly. The galaxy must be united under a new law, one where no secret war is allowed. One where no race hides crimes. Corv growled. You speak of control. No, Leah said. I speak of justice. Drex sighed deeply. Then the council breaks, and the galaxy will never be the same. In a hidden chamber, a dark figure watched the council through a screen. They fall apart quickly. He muttered. An aide asked, What now, sir? The figure's eyes glowed. Faintly, now we move forward. The old order dies with the council. Back in the Great Hall, the session ended. Counselors left with heavy hearts and uncertain futures. Leah stayed behind, looking out the window at the stars. She whispered, "This is only the beginning." And somewhere, far beyond the stars, the human fleet prepared for what came next, because the council had broken, and a new era was dawning. Deep beneath the surface of the shattered moon called Kartha, a secret chamber hummed with quiet energy. It was hidden from all eyes, buried under layers of rock and forgotten history. Inside, an ancient machine pulsed softly, cast in blue. Light over the walls. Commander Leah Voss stood before it, eyes wide. "This place, it's older than any record we have." Her second-in-command, Rill, a tall man with sharp features, nodded. "The scans say it's not just old. It's ancient, predating the Union itself." Leah pressed a panel on the wall. Symbols glowed beneath her fingertips, the same symbols from Earth, carved into the stone. "We found something important," she whispered. "The origin of everything we thought was lost." Rill raised an eyebrow. "You mean the truth about humanity's past?" "Yes, and why we disappeared for so long." A low rumble echoed through the chamber. The machine began to hum louder. A hologram flickered. To life above the pedestal, a man's face appeared, calm and wise. "I am Dr. Kalin," the hologram said. "A keeper of Earth's last secret." Leah stepped forward. "Who sent you?" "I was part of the original Earth Council," Kalin said. "Before the war. Before humanity vanished." Rill frowned. "Vanished? You mean we weren't destroyed?" Kalin's eyes glowed. "No, we chose to hide, to wait. Because our enemies were many and strong." Leah's voice shook. "Why? Why hide? Why leave the galaxy to forget us?" Kalin's hologram gestured to the walls. "Because the galaxy was corrupt. Rulers lied. War grew. And we could not win, not then." He paused. "So we built this sanctuary. A place to protect our knowledge, our people, and our future." Leah looked at the strange machine. "Is this where the fleet comes from? The ships we've been waking?" "Yes, this base was the seed. The heart of Earth's new beginning." Rill asked, "What about the Union? The other species?" "They think humans are monsters." Kellen's face darkened. "They feared us because they never understood us. They feared our strength, our will to survive. And they feared the truth." Suddenly, alarms blared. The chamber shook. "Security breach," Rill shouted. "We've been found." Leah drew her weapon. "Get ready. We need to protect this place." The doors exploded inward. The dark-clad soldiers poured in, faces hidden behind helmets. Leah fired, taking down 2 attackers. Rill moved to protect the hologram. "Who are they?" Leah asked between shots. "Union loyalists," Rill said. "They want to destroy the truth." The battle raged, blaster fire lighting the chamber. One soldier slipped past and aimed at the hologram device. "No!" Leah screamed, diving forward. She grabbed the control panel, pushing a hidden switch. The hologram expanded, flooding the room with light. Kalin's voice boomed. "To those who seek truth, hear this." The soldiers faltered, blinded. Leah and Rill seized the moment, knocking the attackers out one by one. When the fight ended, silence returned. Leah looked at the glowing hologram. "What was that?" Kalin's voice softened. "A message. For all to hear." The image shifted to a star map, showing Earth's path through the galaxy. "We were not alone," Kalin explained. "Long ago, Earth was part of a larger network, an ancient alliance. But betrayal tore us apart." Rill gasped. "Betrayal? By who?" "By those who feared our rise. They spread lies, wiped our records, and branded us enemies." Leah clenched her fists. "That's why the Union hid the truth," Kalin nodded. "But now the truth returns." The hologram showed images of humans living among alien species, sharing knowledge, building peace. "We were once a bridge," Kalin said. Not monsters, not conquerors. Laya's eyes filled with tears. So everything we've fought for, it's to restore that. Yes, Kalen replied. To remind the galaxy who humanity truly is. Outside, distant alarms signaled approaching ships. Laya turned. We have to move. Take this knowledge with us. Rill grabbed a data core from the pedestal. Let's go. As they ran through the tunnels, Leah whispered, the origin is no myth. It's our future. In the cold dark, the human fleet waited, ready to reclaim their place among the stars, because now the galaxy would know the truth, humanity's origin, and the nightmare it became. The stars were no longer quiet dot in the vastness of space. Near the heart of the old galaxy, a massive station floated in the dark. It was unlike anything built in recent memory. Ancient, golden, and shaped like a crown, the station pulsed with forgotten power. Its name, carved into the metal in hundreds of languages, was simple. Throne 1. Commander Laya Voss stood at the viewing deck of the human flagship Resolute Dawn, watching the ancient structure as it slowly rotated before them. We found it, she said quietly, the throne of stars. Her second-in-command Rill stepped beside her. The final piece. Laya nodded. The origin was only the beginning. This is what Earth's ancestors protected. The true seat of leadership. The galaxy's lost command center. Rill crossed his arms. If the Union knew we were this close, they'd throw everything at us. They will, Leah said. But not before we send the signal. She turned toward her crew. Is the broadcast ready? Lieutenant Hera gave a firm nod. Ready, Commander. As soon as we activate the throne's core, it will go out to every planet, every species, every council world. Leah inhaled slowly. Then let's begin. The team entered the throne. It was cold and dark at first, but alive. Lights flickered as they moved through massive corridors. Holograms of forgotten leaders shimmered in the corners, watching in silence. This place. Hera whispered, it's like a temple. No, Leah said. It's a beacon. They reached the central chamber, a circular room with a single chair in the center. The floor below was a galaxy map made of light. The stars moved slowly, real-time updates flowing through unknown systems. On the edge of the map, the Union Armada was forming. They know we're here, Rill said. We've got minutes, maybe less. Leah approached the throne. That's all we need. As she sat, the entire chamber responded. Lights burst to life. The chair shaped itself around her, connecting to her armor, her mind. A voice filled the air, calm and powerful. Identity confirmed. Human bloodline. Command authority restored. The galaxy map expanded. Messages, histories, files, and council laws scrolled through the light. Leah gritted her teeth. Broadcast now. The station pulsed. Across the stars, the truth spread. A message in all languages. This is Commander Leah Voss, voice of the Lost Earth Council. Humanity did not vanish. We were buried. Lied about. Feared. But now we return, not as conquerors, but as guardians of truth. This station, the Throne of Stars, once ruled fairly. It will do so again. The Union has broken its promise. A new alliance begins now. On hundreds of worlds, the message shook power structures. On alien battle cruisers, captains paused. On peaceful moons, people cheered, but not everyone celebrated. Inside the Union War Council's dreadnought, High Chancellor Drex slammed his fist on the table. She's on the throne? He shouted. Yes, Chancellor, a soldier replied. She's activated the crown systems. The other species are listening. Then silence her. But sir, I said now. Back at the throne, warning lights flashed. Enemy ships approaching. Hara yelled. A full Union fleet. 30 ships. Rill checked the defenses. We're outgunned 10-1. Leah didn't move. We're not here to fight. We're Here to show them we aren't afraid. Then we die? Rill asked. No, Leah said softly. We lead. She pressed her palm to the throne's control. Activate all defense stations connected to Earth Legacy Code. The station shook. Ancient cannons unfolded from the outer rings. Satellites long thought dead powered up. Fleets hidden in asteroid belts turned toward the signal. Across space, old allies responded. Ships that had gone dark for centuries. A-controlled battlecruisers marked with Earth flags. Colonies that had kept quiet now roared to life on the bridge. Of the Union dreadnought, panic spread. Sir, we're being flanked by unknown vessels. Earth signature. Hundreds of them. Chancellor Drex stared at the screen. How? Some of these ships haven't been seen in 500 years. The Chancellor backed away slowly. It was all true. Inside the throne, Lia's voice grew louder, carried by the systems. We do not seek war, but we will not hide again. We will not let lies rule the stars. To those who wish peace, join us. To those who want war, the cannons around the station lit up like suns. You'll see what it means when humanity answers. The first Union ship fired. A glowing missile raced toward the station. Then it vanished, intercepted mid-space by an AI-controlled cruiser. The counterattack was instant. Blue fire streaked across space. The Union fleet tried to hold, but their lines broke quickly. Ships exploded. Others surrendered. Within minutes, the remaining captains turned their ships and ran. RYL stood in shock. We won. No, Lia said. We revealed. Later, as calm returned, the new council met inside the throne chamber. Leaders from different worlds. Some were humans. Some were not. They sat together, listening. Leah stood before them, strong and clear. This place was meant to keep peace. Not power. We will not repeat the past. A tall alien with silver skin nodded. And what of the old Union? They ruled with fear, Leah said. We rule with truth. Another alien stepped forward. Then we follow you. Cheers echoed in the chamber. The galaxy had changed, not by force, but by the return of what was lost. By humanity's voice. That night, Leah stood on the throne's highest balcony. The stars stretched in every direction, bright, endless. Rill joined her. It's quiet again. For now, Leah replied. But the silence feels different, he smiled. Because this time, it's listening. She nodded. They had returned not as ghosts from a forgotten world, but as leaders of a future reborn. And far above them, the throne of stars continued to spin, not as a weapon, but as a symbol, a promise that when the galaxy needs justice, humanity will rise and answer.